Sometimes the world writes its stories, not with ink, but with pain, with silence, and with footsteps that no one hears. This is the story of one such journey, a journey that began in the dust and ended in the light. In a forgotten corner of the land, where the roads turned to mud and dreams to dust, there lived a boy named Arjun. He was not born with shoes. He was born with scars. Not the kind you see, but the kind that hide behind tired eyes. Each morning, he watched his father bend like a fading tree over cracked earth. Each evening, he saw his mother stitch broken cloth under a dim lamp. But Arjun, he looked up. He looked at the stars, not to dream, but to ask, "Will I ever reach you?" There was hunger in his belly, but a greater hunger in his heart. He walked to school with torn slippers and returned with a mind full of quiet fire. Children laughed at him, but he learned to laugh alone, not in joy, but in defiance. He studied under the pale glow of a street lamp. While the world slept, he whispered equations into the night wind, as if praying to a god only he believed in. Then came the storm. His father fell in the fields one day, the weight of unspoken suffering collapsing like old walls. No money, no help, no hope. That night, Arjun sat by his father's feet. He didn't cry. He listened to the silence. And from that silence, he carved a promise. "I will not live like this, and I will not die like this." He left his village with a bag stitched by his mother's love and a heart stitched by his father's silence. The city welcomed him like a cold wind, indifferent, unforgiving. He slept near train tracks, his dreams shaking each time a train passed by. He worked in tea stalls, cleaned tables, wiped floors, but he never wiped away his vision. When others rested, he read. When others mocked, he endured. He failed again and again, but in every failure, he folded a lesson like a paper boat and sailed it across his tears. One day, an opportunity knocked quietly, like rain on a tin roof. A scholarship, a single seat, thousands of voices, but one story stood out, not because it was loud, but because it had walked through fire without burning. They asked, "Where do you see yourself in 10 years?" He replied, "In a place where no one sleeps hungry because I didn't." They didn't see a boy. They saw a storm in disguise, and they chose him. Years passed, degrees were earned, respect was gained, but Arjun's soul remained barefoot, still walking toward the light. He built a company, but not for fame, for farmers, for fathers who broke in silence, for mothers who stitched prayers into fabric. When he returned to his village, he brought books, he brought medicine, but most importantly, he brought proof that a seed, when watered with belief, can bloom, even in stone. Today, they call him a hero, but heroes don't wear capes. They wear patience and pain and persistence. He still visits the same temple, still bows to the same silent sky, still listens to the wind, because he knows somewhere out there, another boy is watching the stars, asking the same question, "Will I ever reach you?" And to him, Arjun's life is the answer. So if your days feel heavy and your nights feel hollow, if your journey is long and the road is lonely, remember this: the darkest soil grows the strongest roots. And the quietest prayers build the loudest destinies. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the ink. Write boldly, walk slowly, and rise like the sun no one believed would shine. If this story touched your heart, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope today. And if you believe in stories that heal, hit subscribe and stay with us. Because sometimes one story can change a life.